Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Okay, all our preparations are just about set. Now that this is actually happening, I've got some pre-show jitters.
All this royalty? I'd always felt they lived in a different world to the likes of me. Never figured I'd be walking alongside one myself.
'Tis proof that bloodline decides nothing. We are one people living in a shared world.
Looks like this is gonna be our last mission. Any final words you want to say?
We can't give up. Stand strong to the end.
Of course. No way we're losing here. I've got the fire in me eyes now.
About the new stuff you've felt and learned since becoming the prince. Can I ask you one more thing? Why is it that you want to be king? It's not about honor or power, is it?
I want to protect this country and its people.
'Tis the answer I hoped for. As your knight, I will ever serve you with all my soul and ability.
Well, I guess this means we're ready as we're gonna be.
This place here.
Let's move!
You see?
Yeah. After having made so many sacrifices, the group has gained new powers and ascertained new truths. Their arch-enemy, Luis, already has one hand on the throne. Even so, they march ever forward, spirits rekindled by battle. They head to Grand Trad, for the fight is far from over.
That Elden boy is nowhere to be found. I suppose it's only a matter of time until Luis takes the throne.
Speaking of which, I don't see the general.
The voice of the pro-Luis faction became too overwhelming. He was ultimately forced out of his position. Why is this happening? Even if the Sanctus Church's favor has collapsed, why is it that Luis alone is reaping the benefits?
The public mind is the same as it's always been. It's too difficult to find answers in themselves, so they follow those who provide. We've certainly relied on that ourselves.
It's always easier to follow than to have to make all the risks yourself. Now that we are out of ideas, what can we do?
Can you imagine Luis on the throne? Can you imagine what he'd do with us? We'd be the first on the chopping block. Do we hide? Run? Our ships are in port.
Is this really the time for idle chit-chat?
Who are you?
Just a passing wastrel. Thought I'd drop in for a word since I was in the area. You might have one way to survive.
Well then, let us depart.
Lord Luis, your pardon. We've encountered an unexpected snag. I killed the prince in the Elden village. I confirmed his death, yet it appears the boy candidate has merged with his corpse. It seems the prince is now resurrected.
Resurrected?
Yes, and what's more, the boy candidate was the actual prince after all. Something about his soul having traveled independently, and then returning to his corporeal body.
I see. So his ideal form was spun from Magla. Whatever the case, this means the land's true prince has reawakened in his sanctum. How interesting. After these long years, my chase may finally come to an end. My nemesis awaits.
Lord Luis, what is it about that bastard that fascinates you?
Yeah,
I won't let it end like this. I have to do better. I need more power. I will show Lord Luis I am worthy of his gaze.
We'll soon be arriving above the royal capital.
Excellent. As planned, increase altitude and enter the royal palace in the sky.
Are you certain? We'll be heading directly to His Majesty, the former king, and...
Rest assured, that old fool is powerless to stop me now. Proceed.
Understood.
Let the final banquet begin.
Come on, any takers? Any bets for the other candidates? Remember, if Luis loses, a silver coin could turn into mountains of Reef.
What are you trying to say? You think Count Luis is going to lose?
Oh, no, of course not. I'll just say.
I'll call that bet. All in on His Highness the Prince.
A Sanctus bigwig gambling away his tides? This really is the end of the world. Didn't know his esteemed princeliness had any supporters left.
I mean, he's not really the prince, is he? Was actually a monster in disguise all along. Haven't you heard the news? The times we live in, I tell you.
Must be tough, being an easy mark. It didn't take much for you to buy everything Luis was selling about the prince. The fireworks went off the moment he said, "Behold." Remember? You don't think there's any chance Luis orchestrated the entire thing?
Oi, churchman! You've seen Count Luis lie to us? You think he cast some big illusion?
An illusion, eh? What if I said it's a power more dangerous than that? Always struck me as odd. We all know Luis, the mighty human slayer, but how does he keep finding the things one after another? Seems a bit convenient, if you ask me. Like he knows in advance where these monsters will appear to cause havoc.
Easy to nitpick and gripe about him, isn't it, churchman? Maybe someone needs to shut you up.
All right. Let's keep things civil, eh? No sense becoming a monster yourself.
Oi! What's all this fuss about?
Damn it! When Count Luis is king, you'll all be the first at the gallows. You'll die just like Forden.
Well, they're probably just as anxious as the rest of us. All that yelling and thrashing helps fight it off. Humans have been sighted near the capital, after all.
It's more than that. Pockets of society have resented the upper class for ages now, but this might be the spark that lights the kindling. Luis's respect for power is certainly cruel, but it's fair to an extent. Those of us pushing the status quo have always struggled to understand the appeal.
Even then, everyone's on edge. They'll jump at any excuse to argue and snarl at each other. Never seen it this bad. Not normal, I say.
Blind fanaticism and doom go hand in hand. If we don't find some common ground soon, it'll collapse beneath us. Luis left saying that he'd be waiting at the royal capital. Only one place he could be. All eyes are on his Skyrunner as it rises to the flying palace. What are we about to see?
Ah, the royal palace. It's been a while. Do you hear me, O king? Stubborn and deathless? This country is distorted. You and the other titled authorities decide who grows fat and who is devoured. The country knows no war only because our very core is built upon a system of societal predator and prey. It cannot be defied from within. That is peace, but not order. Hand over the royal scepter. The game is over. The country needs change, and I will provide it.
Thou impertinent faith breaker, hast thou no shame in preempting the day of judgment?
Do you presume yourself a god? Is that why you wrought your face in stone and took it to the heavens? You're nothing! Just an ordinary, broken old man.
How wouldst thou wield the king's magic? To what end?
To purify all that your kind have left to rot. You threw away your ideals, but I will never make that mistake.
Only the people's chosen may take the throne. The royal scepter and its resting place remain beyond you.
This royal scepter, the royal magic. Did you think that only generations of kings were aware of their secrets? Why someone can manipulate world-changing power by use of only a single scepter? Why only those supported by the people can use it? Listen well, O king. The truth behind the royal magic. Huh. So it's true. The country truly is putrid with sin. In other words, if I took hold of it now, then I would have the power to change the world itself.
How didst thou learn of this?
How?
Thou wert elder.
You were not always blind to this country's rot. When you visited our sanctum, I saw and knew the passion in your heart. And yet, what happened to our village? What happened to this country?
Oh.
You cannot stop me any longer. Nor can anyone else. Save one lone possibility.
Snatching victory from the maw of catastrophe, the party descends again on the royal capital, Grand Trad. But they are greeted only by ominous skies. Their return hardly counts as a triumph, considering how they departed. Anticipating conflict, the Gauntlet Runner comes to a quiet stop.
What the hell's wrong with the sky?
Isn't that... Oi! That monster boy's come back!
Ah, that's why the sky's grown so hellish. The half-dead bastard returns with his head held high.
A more aggressive welcome than I expected. Would any introductions help them to understand?
It's useless. Words are cheap. Still, we should walk with pride instead of trying to keep our heads down.
True enough.
His Royal Highness, the Prince, returns! Luis distorted his form through strange and terrible magics, but the curse is now dispelled. His true form has been restored!
Oi, if that's really His Highness, then tell us why didn't His Majesty in the sky stop all this bloodshed?
Because he's an imposter! Just like Count Luis said! You'll not fool us again, beast!
Oi! Calm down. At least listen.
And you! Never thought I'd see one of the Magnus brothers standing against Count Luis, even the thick one. He took in a Paripus like you, and you spit on him! Scum! Only thing traitors deserve is a tight rope and a stiff beam. And you want us to support the Prince!
Lady Juna, I can't believe this! I admired you! Why would you risk dying alongside some fake prince? I don't intend on dying with anyone. Besides, I'm still me, whoever I'm standing with.
Hey, you chief! Weren't you the wretch who got kicked out of the knighthood? Now you're with this pack of throne chasers. Shame! Shame!
Mustari girl! You ungrateful pagan! Count Luis brought down the Sanctus Church for you!
How dare you strike out at him?
They're all traitors, I say!
What is all this? The truth of the prince hardly matters to them. Every one of them's only concerned with their own emotions and nothing else.
We'll have your heads on pike soon enough. Leave! Get out of our royal capital!
If they're just monsters, we can deal with them ourselves. How about it?
This is bad. They really are out for our blood. Has everyone gone insane?
Oi! Over here! Don't bother with them! No talking this one out. You need to run! Now!
We weren't away from the city that long. What happened? Why are all the people so bloodthirsty now?
The prince turning into a monster before their eyes still lingers in their minds. After all, a monster entered into their society disguised as a person.
No, that's not...
I know, it's not true. But truth and how it appears to the citizens are different beasts. Moreover, humans have been sighted closer than ever before. The royal capital's populace is unused to danger, so they've become suspicious of each other. How fares your neighbor? Do you run in circles with monsters in disguise? Are questions on the tip of every tongue. Ever since Forden's death, Luis has everyone on a knife edge. He's erratic, and nobody knows how he'll react to those who defy him if push comes to shove.
So, at the core of it, people are scared witless, and they cling to Luis as a savior, rather than the devil he is.
You well know that Luis cares not one whit about social status, especially as a token of birthright. No amount of wealth or standing can buy his protection. So even those who may have opposed him at first now counsel that condemning him would be imprudent, as it puts their safety at risk.
Then we're stuffed. He won't save anyone. And oh yeah, he can create humans, by the way.
Oh, that's all true then. I have my suspicions, but it's still a bit of a jolt. This all said, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the people now has been in the works for some time. Now, has the tournament for the throne truly ever been a fair contest? The Sanctus Church bent it to its whim, and I abetted that. To my shame. Before I met you people, I didn't have much to me but anger and quips. I'd rant and snipe and have my cynical little discourse, but I'd only looked to others for change. Now maybe that outlook's our real enemy. Blind fanaticism, like I had. Even if there's no malice to it, it's a dangerous thing. Hard to think clear when your mind's a muddy stream.
We've been told Magla is born from people's anxiety. Perhaps the proof is now before our eyes.
Kind of ironic. But we have to do something about it. If we don't, they'll never listen. We'll only ever be seen as an enemy.
I had the inn prepared. They won't let anyone in but you lot. Let's head there for now, shall we?
Everyone, I'm glad you made it back in one piece. Since you left, Luisa's following has only grown.
Have you changed? You're still the same person, aren't you?
'Tis quite a story, but it deserves explaining. I only hope you can believe us.
Alright, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. I had thought all this business with declaring yourself the prince was a well-meaning bluff. But under the deception, you were, in fact, the actual prince. Is that right? Still, I mean, how do you get the whole country to believe your story? Is that even possible?
Frankly, I doubt it. We've just seen firsthand how far we'll get trying to talk the people down.
Then what will you do? If this goes on?
But you're still you, yes? You came to help everyone, just like you helped me before, right?
Yes, that's right.
It'll all turn out fine.
Good. I see. So, even if no one believes you, you're still determined to settle the score with Luis head-on?
Even so, the gulf between us is wider than ever. The people have all but named him their champion. With so little time, a guileless appeal to the public may fall on deaf ears.
Hard luck for the honest knight. And not much room left for civil debate now that Luis is openly advocating killing his opposition. Well, that ship sailed when the king's magic faded. Anyway, if there is a key to turning the tide, first place I'd look is the castle in the sky. You saw how violent and volatile the city folk are now, but I don't think it's as simple as fearing Luis. I've been keeping an eye on the royal capital while you were off on your jaunt through the woods. Frankly, the change in public sentiment was too sudden, unnatural. It's as if they've been collectively drained of their sanity, and if I had to guess what's causing it...
You're implying it's Luis's doing? All the eeriness in the sky. Is that because...
Don't know, but the change in the citizens is certainly odd. If something really is forcing it, that means we might still have a chance to fix it.
On the other hand, it may well be bait for a trap.
Trap or not, we have no other choice.
Then it's settled. Head to the royal palace and put a stop to whatever Luis is cooking up. With that Skyrunner, you're the only ones who can. And we'll fight in the ways we can too. We'll make sure the whole kingdom hears that the real prince is back after all the strife he's been through.
Indeed. If you can make things better, you might just inspire everyone to remember their own hopes and dreams. Maria's been terribly patient, waiting for you and believing in you. It'd be nice to see her smile again.
Right.
I'll always believe in you. We'll all do our best, so you can be a good king.
Indeed. If we win, I suppose you really will be king.
We're counting on you, O king.
'Tis too late today for a grand charge, I fear. Let us take a night's rest, and on the morrow, we make for the castle.
To all the people who dwell in this land,
This voice?
soon naught but 1 month will remain. On the dawn of the Day of the Hero, the one who has inspired the greatest faith of the people shall inherit the kingdom. I bid thee forget not these words.
Wasn't expecting to wake up to such a spectacle, but I suppose that confirms it. This is where it ends.
Luis has already fortified himself behind the palace walls. Good thing we've got a Skyrunner, or it'd already be over for us.
Or perhaps it is us he has been waiting for all this time.
However disturbing the world looks now, 'tis only a prelude to the deadland Luis strives for.
Sky looks proper hellish already. And with all the humans out there, it's no wonder everyone's losing their grip.
Well, he wanted a fair world where strength decides everything. Funny how that's indistinguishable from absolute chaos.
But it's Luis who has the most support right now. And that wasn't born of deception. He broke the nation's order, and everyone knows it.
Sure enough. That's what got our Della and I dreaming to begin with. Figured a world where the poor and weak get trampled on was a world worth breaking. Come to think of it, what do we all stand for, really?
Maybe... hope.
A little broad, don't you think? I don't really know what everyone's talking about, but everyone who's seen you and your friends say you're amazing. You make them really, really happy. Because, you know, you've got all the tribes in your team. Everyone's different, but you keep working together and doing great. You're so cool.
A fair point. You're quite right, Maria. It is a hard thing to word, so forgive my fumbling. But perhaps 'tis a matter of standing for something Luis does not believe exists. We must prove that it does.
If you keep on believing in what you want, and you keep on working hard for it, it will come true.
That's right, love. I can think of plenty of people who would be much happier if they took a page from your book.
I see now. This is surely the essence of true magic.
Best of luck, Your Highness. After all those speeches about taking the throne, it'll be awfully irresponsible to go dying on us now.
Right, thank you. Well, we'd best keep an eye on the calendar. The King's deadline was the dawn of the Day of the Hero, so we've got until the day before. And that won't be the end of things either. Even if people come to their senses, it would amount to nothing if Luis sits upon the throne. Personally, I think we should prioritize our main objective here. I'm sure we'd get it done, but we have to make sure we have at least one day to spare before the Day of the Hero.
We've got a few days left, so it's up to you how we spend them. When we set off, let's do it with no regrets. So Luis is hiding in the floating royal palace here. We have to stop him. I won't accept King Luis. That's...
Gastro's been acting as a proxy since the giant sandworms made the governorship one big open question. Everyone's gathered here today to learn what's what, and probably to sentence me to exile.
What will you do if you're exiled?
Who knows, laddie? This town was everything to me. Maybe I'll just live alone for a bit in the mountains and think on it there.
I asked you all to gather here so I could speak about Martira's governance. While Barden was recuperating, I was glad to act as his proxy. However, henceforth, I would like Barden to resume his duties as governor.
But what's this?
This town's autonomy was initiated by your sheer pluck. At the time, I cooperated only so I could use you for my own ends. But I had a revelation in those moments as the giant sandworm approached. I saw that I cannot even protect myself, much less the people. When you returned here exhausted and in tatters, I regretted everything from the bottom of my heart. My actions are unpardonable.
Sir Gastro, but if I go back to governing, it's...
Have some faith in yourself, Barden.
All right, if you say so. I'm just not sure where to start. Except to begin with an apology. My excessive measures frightened you all, and I implemented them because of my own insecurity. I was anxious about whether or not I could keep you safe, so I turned to surveillance and barriers. No more. We'll keep some of our armed forces, but what I really need for security is to have faith in you all. That's why I am not fit to govern.
It's not over yet.
That's right. It's never over. We can still improve this town. And we want you to see it done. Barden, listen. I followed your example and built a defensive barrier myself.
I did too. And I had an idea. We could turn uninhabited houses into shelters.
Things didn't go well before, that's true. But you're not the only one at fault, Barden. This is just as much our town as yours.
Oh, laddies and lassies.
You see? After 2 disasters, everyone has a more mature view of things. You're free to decline. But is that really what you want to do?
Well, now I must apologize. If it truly is what everyone wants, I'll be the governor of Martira again. This time, I won't do anything to scare the populace. We'll have faith in each other, and the town's unity will be known far and wide. And for our first step, I have the perfect suggestion. Step forward, young man. The reason I stand here now is thanks to this fella. He is the hero who saved this town. The one most worthy of the crown. I want us to support him as the future king.
Yes! Barton and a hero together!
Come to think of it, I never told you the truth behind that bit of arson. It was this little poor wee un who started it. He didn't mean to, but he touched an igniter some fool had left behind. I only know this because just the other day he came to me begging for forgiveness, all in tears. If I'd known from the start, I would have just thought it a lone accident. Instead, I acted like invaders had infiltrated us. Got my people all terrified.
It's already in the past.
You say that, but I can't forget it. Ever. Henceforth, I'll be changing my ways. Let's focus on the future now. This region, in fact the whole country, depends on it. Mind if I ask you just one more time? If you think I'm fit to govern?
There's no one more qualified for the job than you, Barton.
And you truly believe that? Then I must devote myself to the work even more, so as not to disappoint the future king. Thank you greatly for everything you've done. This only happened because I had your support. Even when I made mistakes, you stuck by my side. I'll return the favor one day. I swear it.
The Honorable Guardsman, Barton, keeper and heritor of the Commander's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of his newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
You're the one who brought light to this town, to this country. Today really is such a bonny day. I'm blessed with the greatest of friends. The townspeople love me, despite all my flaws. And everyone is so... Thank you again. I'm just so happy.
Honestly, I was thinking about closing up shop for good, but... I see we have one last item of business for today. You didn't notice? 2 children have been following you. They have igniters. I imagine they're here for me.
Brigitte!
You two. I saw you at the village.
So you remember us? What a shame, right? I bet you didn't think you left any survivors, right?
Everyone we know is dead! You killed them!
I see. So, you're here for revenge. Is that it?
You've got it wrong. Brigitte's innocent in this.
You're lying! The Sanctus told me all about it! They said you set the whole village on fire! That's why they gave me this igniter! They said, killing isn't wrong when you're punishing the wicked!
I see. You. My apologies. But I'd appreciate if you didn't interfere. No matter what happens.
That depends on what happens.
No. No matter what happens. Please. This is your first time killing someone, I take it. I hate to break it to you, but you should have finished the job without saying anything. You realize you just gave yourself away. Now I might dodge. That's a chance at survival I didn't have before. Might easily be enough to turn the tables and kill you. And what's the exit plan after you've done the deed? How do you get out of the city before they find my corpse? Or did the Sanctors forget to mention these details? The Church thought they'd use you to kill me. That? Or they were hoping I'd kill you?
No! You're lying!
If you don't have it in you, then I suggest you save your revenge.
You're not fooling us!
It's a painful thing to live your whole life running away, carrying your sins on your back. If you ask me, it might even be harder than killing someone. You'll watch me die again whenever you close your eyes. You'll smell my blood, hear the rasp of my final breaths, see my eyes cloud. Again, and again, and again. That's what lies down this road. It's a dark path to walk, alone, with the weight of your despair. Your heart won't let you trust again, nor will it let anyone save you. But you still have time to turn back.
There's nowhere left for us to go.
I've prepared living spaces at my research facility. They're meant to give people like you a safe home.
What? What are you talking about? You think we trust you?
I know how easy it is to lose all your peace and hope in an instant. And now that you've seen that firsthand, I can't fault you for doubting me. But just once, just one more time, I want you to think of your future and get the help you need. It's a hard thing to crawl up out of hell. But the first step is having the courage to believe.
But if I lived in your place, you'd just kill me!
If I wanted to kill you, I'd have done it already. I'm not saying you have to trust me right away. Believe me. I have a hard enough time trusting people myself. But isn't this what you two really want? To believe in people, and believe in your own happiness. Thank you. I'll show you the way to the research facility now. That took incredible bravery, you two. I can already tell you have a better life than mine ahead of you. A more peaceful and gentle future, greater than anything we could imagine, is about to dawn. The two of them fell asleep as soon as they found their room. Must have been the first sleep they'd had in days. Can't imagine how nervous they must have been. We have to protect them. We can't let this place be destroyed. Suppose that means I can't afford to close down the shop just yet. I'll keep selling igniters for now. But I'll only stock models with limiters, meant to dampen their destructive force. And I'll offer a bargain for the people to trade in non-limited igniters towards buying my wares. Against the Church's campaign, it'll barely make a difference. But it'll buy some time until you take the throne, right?
And what do you plan to do afterwards?
Well, that depends on the new king. It's a small gesture, at best. A pretense at change. But it's enough. As long as it can give those children a little hope. I trust you to brighten our world. Give it the surge of hope it needs. Take the throne, and lead us forward.
I want that hope to come from the both of us.
Ah, right. Now I'm in the thick of this research. I can't exactly dismiss this as someone else's problem anymore. So we'll take on the job together. May the flame of hope burn ever brighter, and may the light of that torch pierce the world's dark. May it reach the crying and the suffering, and save them. I vow to stand by your side. I'll find ways to be useful to you. I was always afraid of telling the truth. I built igniters into a shell around my life. On the inside, I figured I had nothing. I was nothing. Just a hollow parody of a person. But even knowing how weak I really am, you refused to abandon me. Thanks to you, I've come to know hope again. So I'll believe in that hope, and try to live my life to the fullest. That's my decision, and I'll stick by it. Thank you, young man, for giving me the courage to live again.
The traitor and iconoclast Brigitte, keeper and heritor of the merchant's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of her newfound powers, work to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
Thank you for helping me embrace my weakness. No doubt there are countless people out there suffering, enduring unimaginable pains at this very moment. But you can show them that their world is not a living hell. Not when you have your own vision for it. I'll be waiting for the day it comes true.
With the protection of the royal magic gone, the tournament for the throne escalates. Those who would turn the tide with military might are spurred by opportunity. However, the case of Jin Dulz was something altogether different. Standing firm in his path is the party's gauntlet runner, there to take back what Jin stole from Nurse.
That can only be Jin.
What? We can make short work of them.
You people! Why are you here?
We could ask you the same thing. Why'd you steal Neris's relic?
I had no other choice. If I can't prove I'm useful to Luis, then he'd kill me. I thought if I could find him some kind of treasure, some token, I could win his mercy. And your engineer, he's the one who made a runner fly. His secrets are bound to be valuable. Maybe valuable enough that Luis would spare my life, but... damn it all! I don't give a damn anymore! All I have to do is slaughter you all! The royal magic's nothing to us anymore! Anyone can be killed, so I'll take your heads and serve them up to Luis on a platter!
Try a bit of this! Let's have a sport in Ventus ingenuity!
Time to teach this little thief a
I pray you're ready.
can take this. Their weakness.
Or say it's
Behold
got
this
our
power.
pride.
Raging fire. Their weakness. Don't let up now, Judah.
We'll do this together.
What do I do?
No.
Scour! Not like this. I'm sorry. I'll return what I've stolen.
You really...
You better listen up. Don't go getting any big ideas about crossing us again. You just... I don't know, skedaddle and lay low until Luis is out of the picture.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Will do. Skedaddling presently.
Applause, please.
I shall rise to the occasion.
I shall strive.
Tremble before me.
Ah, you got them back! I knew you two could manage it! Most helpful. Ooh, would have been dire indeed if the thief were the one to complete it.
Dire how?
There's something I've got to tell you two. It's about what these relics really are. It was nagging at me a bit, you recall? Why were the relics scattered all across the lab?
You don't think it's just a coincidence?
I suppose it's not impossible. This was, after all, a long time ago. Anyone who might know for sure what happened then is long gone. But no, I don't think it was coincidence. Looks to me like they were deliberately scattered about for a reason. You see, in the course of my tinkering, I worked out that these relics could still function as components to a greater device. The trigger mechanism is a bit like magic igniters, but without a doubt, it's something different altogether. Something utterly transcending modern technology. Based on the few clues present, and my own technical knowledge, I can only conclude... It's a weapon of mass destruction, capable of destroying the world as we know it.
A weapon?
Like the King's magic, or Luis's magic. No, perhaps something even greater. It's a power that could end an entire civilization.
This little thing could do all that. Why even make something so...
Who knows? No way now of telling the creator's motives. But I think I understand how this sort of thing happens. Once you're struck with a grand enough idea, you can't help but bring it to life. As a technician, no doubt they only thought to prove their hypothesis, no matter the danger involved. Only once it became real, they saw the horror in what they'd created. And so this was their effort to bury it, scattering it in pieces across Ukrainian leagues. Hard to say if they plan to put it back together someday, or if they just couldn't bring themselves to destroy the fruit of their labors. Say, old boy, what do you suppose we should do with this?
Let's put the pieces back where we found them.
I suppose that's one way to deal with it. But there may be enterprising hunters who'll collect them all again, just like we did. No. I'm grateful that you found all the pieces for me, but I've got to destroy it myself before it falls into anyone else's hands. I hope you can understand.
But how are you going to destroy it?
Couldn't be simpler, really. If we're not putting it together, you've just got to crush the central component. If I'd found this as a younger man, it wouldn't even have crossed crossed my mind to break it. After traveling with you all, and getting to keep working on the runner, it's all been a sharp reminder of why I became an engineer. Technology's not a selfish pursuit. It's something you use to make other people's lives better, happier. That's how I managed to make this gauntlet runner fly. So thank you.
Well, your best work's still ahead of you, right?
Ah, you really do understand me. Yes, a proper genius can't bally well rest on his laurels, can he? So, in that vein, let me pledge my support anew, what? As genius, inventor, and architect of the people's joys.
The free-hearted engineer, Neurus, keeper and heritor of the gunner's virtues. Your tempered bond has become a fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens within thee. By the grace of his newfound powers, work together to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
If we can build an engine, we can build a nation. Under the circumstances, we've got to learn to take inspiration from the world around us, instead of mooning and pining over brilliance of the past. Plenty of modern inventions took design inspiration from this sort of relic too. We'll need to work out how to make them safer to operate. Right, splendid. I'm feeling positively activated now. Let's have a proper think for the rest of today. Work out some exciting new concepts together. And while we're at it, would you mind hanging around to watch me break this old thing?
Sorry if I got yous all worried. It's not really as big a deal as it sounds. It's about Del, is all. Felt like he died trusting me to sort some things out on my own. The whole Luis thing, sure, but where do I go from here, like? I mean, Del protected me when I was nothing, and I can't stay nothing, else I'll never pay that debt back, yeah? I've got to keep pushing forward. Thing is, I don't know where I'm going, or where I even want to take myself. So instead of going forward, I feel like I'm just running in circles.
We'll have to win first.
Ah, you're right there, but look, I mean, beating Luis, making you king, and finding my own purpose, they're all different things, yeah? Del used to talk about wanting to open up a little cafe in the country. But me, I've got no dreams of my own. Ugh. Bollocks. What were we just talking about?
Weren't we talking about your goals?
Right, yeah, that's the one. But, well, suppose that can all wait, eh? Luis had it all wrong, but all his posh talk sounded right to me. So he hung on to his dream, us too, and we made it ours too, for all the good that did. We just turned into the same kind of grown-ups we used to hate when we were kids. Used to call us whatever they liked. Too weak, too young, or just the wrong bleeding tribe. any excuse to look down on us. We can't let them make that our world's normal. So, for now, I'll just focus on getting stronger and looking to the future.
I'm counting on you.
Thanks. That's it then, eh? Gonna give it all I got for Del's sake and mine.
The ardent champion, Basilio. Within him dwells the virtue of the Berserker. Nurture thy bond with him, and a new power yet slumbering within thee may awaken.
It's been a good day. I've got time to work out where I'm going. No quick answer, I figure. So I can think about it all I like. Oh, no worries. It's nothing. Just an old scratch is all. So, you know, sorry to trouble you, yeah?
That girl's amazing. I'm kind of emotional right now.
She looks a bit rustic, but she might have what it takes to be a songstress.
Look at Myrtis now. Her audience is melting in her hands. I asked Capra to make some connections, and I think introducing Myrtis here was the right choice.
I think she's got potential.
Yes, she really does. If I don't watch out, she may just pass me up. Her voice, though, it lights a fire in my heart.
You came?
Oh, I just wanted to catch a few notes. But I must admit, you sing with a river of emotions, and it swept me away. I didn't expect to say it, but I was having a great time.
You don't say. Well, thanks. I'll take your word for it. As for me, I think I've learned to face my demons. There's nothing standing between me and my songs now, so you keep an eye out, because I'll be right on your tail. Next time we meet, we'll be sharing a stage.
Well, shouldn't you be off then? Take too long and I'll have a stage larger than this country.
There's that telltale confidence. I will be off, but do enjoy your time here.
The cheek on that one. But you know, my good man, I think this whole ordeal has finally shown me exactly why I sing. It's not the lyrics, it's not the harmony, it's the power of the song as a whole. And it varies. When Myrtis sings, you can feel her fiery passion. But for me, I want my music to give people hope, no matter how deep the despair. I want my songs to show people that there is always a light that they just have to reach out and touch. That the future is worth fighting for. I think that's what the world needs right now.
You already fill me with hope.
To hear that from you, of all people, is high praise indeed. But just you watch. I'm not done growing. Well, it would be much easier to do that if the world weren't under a constant barrage of tragedies. So let's work together to create a world where everyone can hear me sing in peace.
We'll create a new country. Together.
Lovely. We'll be humming a merry tune the whole way. My sister told me something once. She said I should always strive to get my voice out to more and more people. Journey has been difficult at times, but I'm so glad I never gave up. And as for you, you better be at my side, listening to every note.
The ephemeral songstress, Juna, keeper and heritor of the masked dancer's virtues. By the grace of her newfound powers, work together to give truth to our hopes and fulfill thy destiny.
A future filled with happy songs is almost here. All right, enough of that. Tonight we drink. You're stuck with me until the dawn breaks. Don't make that face. I just want to see what kind of music you like.
Hurry! Vinka! Vinka!
We have no choice.
Yeah.
It hurts! It hurts! It hurts! It hurts!
Vinka! It's me! It's Basilio! You know me? Can you hear me?
Who are you? Don't know you. I hate you!
Vinka! I'm sorry! I'll make the pain go away. I promise I'll save you.
Can't even look. Let's end
I can do this.
Quick.
I'll kill you!
We'll do this together!
All right, let's go!
Still up?
It hurts! It hurts!
Berserker!
Not bad. I feel stronger.
I admit,
I shall strive to use
Power, does it seem that I've grown stronger?
Vinka, I'm sorry.
You really have gotten strong, Basilio. No more hiding behind old Fidelio, eh? Basilio, truth is, all I wanted was to laugh and live with our people in peace. If I could have just gotten out of that damn city and been with me own, I'd never have asked for anything else. Tell me, why? Why did they have to die? People like us. Are we not allowed to hope for better?
Of course we are.
I saw them in my dreams, you know. Spent all my wakeless hours with them. Good food, good company, good laughs. The kind that makes your gut hurt. But eventually, I'd wake up alone, and I'd wonder, maybe it'd been better to die among mates than live like this. And that's why, when I saw you were alive, Basilio, I felt joy like you couldn't imagine.
I felt it too, lad.
It hit me too. I was so happy to see you here. Bloody hell. I'll never live this down. Good thing Fidelio can't see me now, or he'd beat the shite out of me. Tell me not to show my mangy face round you again. Yeah, that sounds like Artel. Vinka! Shame, eh? Managed to find each other again. Just too late. Couldn't go on unless I found something to blame. Glad it was you who came to stop me. Hell. If I'd had you sticking by, maybe things had been different. Even that damned sunrise would be just the end of another stupid story round some flagons. But you're a legend, Vinka. You're our pride. You fought the world this far all on your own, so don't worry. I'll take care of the rest, yeah? Right. It's a promise, then. I swear to you, Vinka. And to Del. I'll handle it. Thanks. Mate. Vinka? This was the best we could do for him. Right?
We've got to fulfill your promise to him.
Yeah. Can't let him down, eh? We can't let anything stop us now. We're in this fight for Vinka too. Aye. I'm gonna get stronger. One day, I'll even pass Del. You watch me, Vinka. I swear I will.
Thank you. All right.
You know, I've not been hearing about those killings anymore.
They catch the killer, you suppose? Must have been a real monster behind it all.
No, he wasn't. Vinka was... Sorry. Let's go. Vinka, you weren't a monster. I could tell as soon as I saw him again. He must have been hurting a lot worse than me. But he still gave me those herbs. No hesitation.
He was a good man.
Yeah. At least we know that now. He was just always fighting his anxieties. He got pushed to the edge. He and Ardell. They had that in common. Honestly, part of me kind of decided that if I could save Vinka, then I could get over losing Del. Them two weren't that different. Always worrying about our brothers and sisters more than themselves, like. And trying to sort everything out on their own, rushing into their own problems head on. That's them too. Ever since I was a kid, my brother's always been the one pulling me along. Scary as hell making your own path in life, especially if you got something you want to protect. But it's not about the fear. I'm excited to make my own future, see how it all turns out. It makes me wonder if Del and Lady Rella felt like this. Look, Cap. I want to make a better world than the one they left me. I'm gonna build a future that's got room for our joys, where everyone's got a reason to smile. That's me new dream.
We'll definitely make that dream come true.
Yeah. One day, I'll be powerful enough to change the world. I know it. If this mess with Vinka taught me anything, it's that I've still got a lot of growing up to do. So, from here on, I'm gonna stake everything on my own willpower. Time was, I'd all but given up on the future. But now, I feel like we can make a world worth fighting for that world. For your aims. I'll lay down my life if I have to. I swear it, as Basilio Magnus of the Brothers Magnus.
The ardent champion, Basilio, by the grace of his newfound powers.
I'm gonna carry all their hopes now, I swear it. Anyhow, tonight, let's dance till daybreak. Hey! What's the matter? Vinker's funeral, eh? And a funeral means singing, dancing, proper knees up, right? What's that look for? Don't tell me that's only us parapus what do that. Well, who cares? Gotta send Vinker off with a smile anyhow. Let's get the whole gang together. Give everyone a night to remember. Right, I better start figuring out the feast. Gonna have to cook loads what with all of our friends, and I'm definitely making me and Del's favourites. Del never got a proper send-off either, come to think. So let's drink, eat, and dance his pass all through the night.
How disappointing. The prize is already in my hands. All that's left is to wait until it might be awoken. The people must think I'm the one behind the madness in their hearts. Okay. I can see why you felt such hopelessness. The more anxious the people grow, the more they choose blind fanaticism over confronting their fears. This was no fault of yours. Simply their nature. Knowing all this, I shall claim the ideals you abandoned and finish it in your stead. But I have my own interpretations to add.
The skybound Avatar. Taking on the face of His Majesty, the royal palace rose to the sky on the day of his own funeral. Is it still the palace as it once was? It is impossible to tell from the ground. The Gauntlet Runner arrives at the entrance, at last marking the prince's fateful return to the place he was once forced to abandon.
The royal palace has changed. 'Tis a shadow of its past.
Tis just as chaotic within.
Your Majesty, do you hear me? I speak to you as His Highness, the Prince's Royal Guard, Hulkenberg, Knight in your service. His Highness, the Prince, your heir apparent, has just arrived. Will your Majesty break the spell and allow His Highness to succeed the throne?
Don't think we're getting an answer, no matter how long we wait. No choice but to venture in.
We must tread carefully. I can sense the presence of humans inside.
This place is swarming with Magla too. Even I can feel it. Where's it all coming from?
It must be the anxieties of the royal capital's people. And by extension, of the entire country.
Luis would call it righteous, but in the end, he's only preying upon the people's fear. Let's go. There's bound to be something inside that's driving the people mad. We've got to pin down its source.
Your Majesty, I must speak plain. Since the disappearance of His Highness the Prince, you have left the land's governance to Sanctifex Forden. I understand the weight of your grief. To lose not only your love, and now His Highness. But ever since Sanctism was established as the state religion, Forden has well overstepped his bounds. The man's audacity has grown intolerable.
It hardly matters. Let Forden do as he pleases. In the end, nothing will truly make a difference.
What's wrong? You look fixated on something. Did you see something?
Actually, just now...
The late king? I saw nothing.
But all that sounds too specific to be an illusion. It's almost like that exchange happened right here.
Perhaps. 'Twas a memory from your life as a prince, restored to you.
No, this attendant mentioned the loss of His Highness, right? So he must have been gone already. It can't have been something he experienced.
Then perhaps it's from the memory of His Majesty himself. This place is the heart of the royal magic. Maybe the late king's will itself still lingers. Perhaps it was passed through the Magla, and the memories are meant for him alone, as the king's child.
If all this is true, then it goes to show His Majesty was a parent like any other. He thought he'd lost his son, and that grief became his undoing.
Maybe it's not about the king's memories, but his anxieties. You're seeing what his heaviest burdens were.
That may be true.
Right. A king certainly does his kingdom a disservice by refusing to rule it. But Luis actively defiles it. And that's clearly the greater offense. He's turned the royal palace into a den of monsters.
There's unknown dangers around every corner. Let's carry on, but stay vigilant.
The festivities for this year's Saints' Day shall be conducted with the utmost ceremony. A fine opportunity to expand the market for igniters and spread them among people. Along with this policy, we will announce the closure of the Mage Academy.
What? Why close the academy?
Reports are troubling, I'm afraid. They secretly study dragons and other profane forces deep in the mountains. The people will not abide it. With the popularization of magic igniters, all this theoretical study of magic will soon be obsolete anyway. Unless you have any objections, my liege.
No objections. Let it be so. Thank you for your efforts. How can a king accomplish anything alone? What was I supposed to do?
Another vision, Your Highness?
I saw something different than before.
His Majesty was exhausted then. His attendant did mention that he no longer possessed any real authority.
Sounds like he had no one to support his spirits. I admit, I do pity him there. Beyond that, though, do you suppose he means for us to see these? If these memories are hand-picked, then do they not come off as excuses?
Stroll.
It's just... his own son is risking his life in here. He deserves more from the king than regrets and memories.
This place.
Is this where His Highness was attacked?
This is where it all began, then.
Now we know Forden manipulated Rella to attack the prince, then tried to shift the blame to Luis to get him pushed out of his station.
No doubt Forden underestimated Luis as a mere child. And when he regained his grasp on the military, the Sanctifex was taken entirely by surprise.
How little of this I understood before. Yet now all is clear. Alsace left me behind to protect me.
But the prince made it back. He's come this far to do what must be done.
You speak true. Thank you. I failed in my mission that day, but I will not fail a second time.
Fate is a strange thing. What began in these halls will soon end here. But the fight is not against any agent of the curse who remains, just 2 of its victims.
Not that strange to me. Just means we've moved on. We've already nixed the curse, and this fight ain't just over the past anymore.
Basilio!
Indeed. This battle shall decide the future king. Wasn't expecting anything so profound from you.
You wanna take this outside, old fella?
Wait! Something's coming! This uncanny Magla. Is this...
So you've come, but you will go no further.
What have you done to yourself?
Ah, of course. This is your first time seeing me like this. Witness how I've ascended to even greater heights. Wonderful, is it not? Lord Luis can take a wretch like me, someone fate condemned, and turn me into a man of power!
Zoba, you...
Did you willingly endure Luis's spell? Did you let him twist your form?
So it's true then. No matter someone's tribe, he can turn them human and make them a monster.
What the hell is worth that? You call this a man of power? Luis turned you into an abomination.
Call me what you wish. This is the form I desire. If Magla is a person's anxiety, why resist it? If you long to be liberated, you need only unleash it. In Lord Luis's world, strength is the ultimate judge of all. Nothing else matters. It's freedom and fairness. We're moments from the dawn of a perfect new world.
And how many sacrifices do you reckon it'll cost?
What does it matter? What world was ever won without sacrifice? No. To be bled on an altar so fair and just, it's a noble and beautiful thing. Lord Luis strives to build us a utopia, and I, not you, shall be first to make it my home. You would dealt a winning hand in the game of life. By sheer chance! You have everything I never will. I will not let you soil our new world. You'll die before you ever set foot on liberated ground. With this power, I nurtured under Lord Luis, I will deny you everything! Now die! All of you die! There's no place for parasites like you in our new world!
What point is there to a new world if it costs innocent lives to make it?
Save your breath, Stroll. He is beyond reason.
You're one to talk of reason, you imbecile! I'm not here to chat. I'm here to annihilate you!
This is why he
Oh,
fought for
souls
Luis
of
so
kings,
desperately?
give me strength
To become Vishnu!
It's okay.
We'll do this together!
I leave it to you!
Oh, wow! There's no room for the likes of you!
Ah!
Julio left him wide open! Let's hit
Hack and slash!
Countered?
Not done yet.
We'll have to be careful about direct attacks.
Your struggles are pointless!
What's happened?
That attack!
Limitless magla flows through me!
Stroll can't
Take
take
my
any more.
first power!
Someone heal him!
I will crit! Scour!
Why won't you shut up and die?
Oh, awesome souls, do your thing! You're out of here!
Damn it! Not again! Lord Louise!
Okay. Not bad at all.
Ah! I didn't know I had it in me! Damn it! Why? Why does this world keep rejecting me?
How could you push your body this far?
Your deeds bespeak a heart of incredible loyalty, Zorba. 'Tis a tragedy that you have pledged it to the wrong man.
You're the ones who've got it wrong. This world doesn't have much longer. I know you feel it too. Deep down, don't you? Nobody has any choice in how they'll live their lives. They don't even realize it should be their decision. You can't change that world without destroying it. The only man willing to fight for a better world is Lord Luis. Why can't you see that?
I get it now. Zorba, you're the only one who understood everything Luis wanted, and fought for it anyway.
I don't care if I'm just a stepping stone. Lord Luis can build his world on my corpse. A world of beautiful equality, where only the chosen may live.
Zorba.
There was naught to be done. He chose his path.
Tell and I never knew how to deal with him. Always gloomy and moping about. Then he'd burst with this sudden anger, shouting and lashing out like. Thinking back on it now, makes me wonder if the outbursts were all cries for help. Was it really Luis who did this to Zorba? Or...
We can't waver now. I'll not deny, Luis's words ring true in some ways. But he turned Zorba into a monster, and not with words alone, however badly Zorba wished for it. If Luis really cared to protect him, would he have pushed him to such horrors? It's all a fallacy in the end.
A fallacy, eh? You suppose all that business about equality is just a smokescreen? His ambitions are just dead selfish? I don't know if I buy it myself. Would Luis tell such a shallow lie?
There might be something else to this.
But Zorba never turned against him, in deed or in heart. And he still twisted him like that. It wasn't for his protection.
Speaking of which, he mentioned something curious at the end. He spoke of a new world of beautiful equality, where only the chosen may live.
In other words, only those who obey will survive. That's the deal Luis has been spouting since the start.
I get the feeling that's too simple. Remember Rella's vision? A land full of feral humans, with people either running or going mad. I just doubt we can take Luis's speeches at face value. If his true intentions were as simple as that, Rella wouldn't have left us with that image.
You think Luis still has a real purpose we're not aware of?
No point in pondering it here. We're bound to find him eventually, so we can question him then.
The last statue is close by as well. Let us move onward, that we may do what must be done.
What was that? Something just fell out of the sky.
Whoa!
It looks like a dead human!
It's not a human. A person? But the body fell from the royal palace. What's going on?
I know this face. Isn't this the mage who was wreaking havoc at the cathedral months ago?
No. Couldn't be. If that's the man who was working for Luis, he'd be long dead. Wait. Has he been alive this whole time? Was he turned into a monster?
I told you, didn't I? It's just like what happened to the prince. Luis is behind the whole thing! Finally ready to talk, are we? Listen up, good people! Luis has lied to all of you!
So then, all that about the fake prince being a monster, that was a lie? He's truly His Highness?
But still, as long as we obey, Count Luis will protect us.
Oh, come off it! You can't just take Luis at his word, people! This Zorba, the man who just crashed down, was one of the Count's most loyal men!
This was Luis's doing. If that's the case, even if we obey, we don't know what he'll do to us.
This is what I've been telling you. Luis isn't wiping out these monsters. He's bloody well mass-producing them. There's even evidence he's giving them orders to attack. Look, we're talking about a man who's openly declared he'll execute anyone he feels like, even average citizens, if they don't fall in line. Is that the king you want?
No, lies. I don't believe you. Count Luis is our savior. He's supposed to save the world.
What if he turns us all into monsters?
About time. Is this the moment the royal capital wakes up to the truth? Is that? Well, well.
What's the situation? Have we even the slightest hope of defeating Luis?
Been a long time, my lord. You've always had a keen eye for reading the situation. Well, the winds are changing. Now, it's just a matter of what you choose to believe in. Can you smell it? There's change in the air. Things are finally getting interesting.
Whose voices just now? That was Batlin, and the others, wasn't it? They all sounded startled to see Zorba's corpse.
Finally, a reasonable reaction. Seems we've destroyed all the statues then. That should help get people back on our side, don't you think?
Indeed. The sight of Zorba must have finally gotten it through their heads. All Luis has to offer them is insanity.
So, none of the king's servants remain.
Then our people are at last sound of mind. Your vile magic will deceive them no more.
My magic? I deceived no one.
What do you mean? You were responsible for all this chaos, weren't you?
In any case, there can be no more doubt. Your support and mine have finally reached parity. You've come quite a way in the short time since the day of your despair. Commendable in all honesty. A marvel indeed. Perhaps I can no longer afford such indulgence. So be it. Come to the throne. With the power of the royal scepter in my hands, I will give you what you deserve.
You have the royal scepter. Surely you haven't.
And as we may now speak plain, I will tell you the truth of both the royal scepter and this very country. I'll be waiting.
Wait, so Luis got his hands up.
Even should we
We've just got to get it back. He wants a face-to-face showdown? Well, we'll give him one.
Such a countenance. So you truly are the Prince Reborn. I must say, you and your father are cut from the same cloth. Quite unpredictable as death looms.
What of you? Is this hornless form your own true being?
I'll say this here for your own good, Luis. Hand over the royal scepter. Only the one who has earned the people's support is fit to be king. You and us. We can still end this without more bloodshed.
No path forward is bloodless. The king may have avoided it, but the people will only shed his shed. That has been this country's crime for too long. Those in power exact the price of their greed from the people, then preach that such pain is a natural trial to be overcome. The indolent powers of this land have poisoned it with their lies. There is no cure but destruction.
Who's the real charlatan here? You turn people into monsters and convince them it's salvation. Even Sorba, your most loyal vassal, you twisted into a monster. You promise protection to your devoted, yet always fall short of the mark.
I have never lied. I swear upon my name, it is one of the greatest trespasses I can imagine. Have you never wondered why the king's magic is so strong in force? Or why the royal scepter can only be used by those who bear the public's favor? One royal hand clutching one bejeweled rod does not alone accomplish such wonders of magic. But what if it drew magic not from its wielder, but from the masses? That is the truth. The royal scepter is a divine relic that absorbs Magla from people across the kingdom. And thus, the royal magic's power is near inexhaustible. Such has been the royal family's tradition for centuries, generations upon generations. Do you know what this means? Magla is mortal anxiety, which means that the people of this country now have no choice but to perpetually direct their anxiety to the king, simply to stay safe.
Absurd. And how do you explain the people of the capital going mad?
It was no madness that took them. The Magla spews from their helpless hearts at a rate far greater than the scepter can absorb. Hence the stagnation. The behavior now on full display is their inborn, true nature. When they cannot control their fears, they lash out at neighbor and outsider alike. And that is mortal weakness.
That's who they really are.
In a world like this, order built on mutual understanding is but a dream within a dream. Before we achieve resolution, the people must be corrected. On the day the late king's magic fades, I will shape the royal magic anew. All the Magla gathered over these months of turmoil will be restored to the people. Those who can overcome it will be reborn as new humans. Thus, we achieve our first round of natural selection. Our first step towards a world truly fair and just.
Natural selection? New humans? What absurd delusions.
Delusions? You witnessed how the prince lost his very self to my spell, and then re-emerged with powers and will burning ever brighter.
You mean you would do to the people exactly what you did to him? You would use the royal magic to inflict such horrors on all the crown's subjects?
Those who follow me and accept the rule of power will surely survive by virtue of their own will. But if they give in to fear, yes, they will lose both form and mind. That is what it means to protect those who follow. It is not a salvation given of empty charity, but earned through the providence of power.
Then, that's your true ambition. That's why you sent Sorba to the royal funeral. You never even wanted the throne. It was all for the royal scepter.
The shows of power, terrifying the people. It wasn't just manipulation. You justified all of that.
The man would turn all people into humans. It defies all sense.
Worry not. You've proven you're more than worthy. I've little doubt you'll survive the first culling and move on to the new world. You mentioned earlier that we might still resolve this without bloodshed. Then, I put the same offer to you. Join me, Prince. Born of Elton blood, welcoming anyone regardless of tribe. It is no coincidence that you and I take inspiration from the same book.
Don't let him sway you, Your Highness.
I know you detest injustice as I do. Come with me. Let me lend you my power, and together we will change the unfair world we seek to destroy.
I don't seek to destroy this world or any other.
Exactly! He's nothing like you!
Should you deny me, then what? How would you fix this country? You must have seen it everywhere you travel. Tradition, superstition, family honor, and all those struck down unjustly in the name of such authorities. The only cure for such suffering is a simpler world, in which strength triumphs over pain. It is not a solution without cruelty. But surely the fairness it would restore to our lives is worth any sacrifice. Come with me, and we can realize this dream. What say you?
The fairness you speak of is false.
He's got the right of it, Luis. It's not even about what'll be sacrificed. It's about having respect for what the dream costs. And you've got none of that. You keep talking about your laws of power. But what that comes down to is you figure some people in this world just deserve to die. If that's what you believe in, then you can hate Forden all you want, but you're no different.
Be silent. I once had my own aspirations. Yes, I had dreams. But what has the world ever done for us?
What's happening?
The royal scepter? But how?
So be it. There is still time until my magic settles upon this land. Until then, I will watch the world collapse from my perch at the top.
Wait! Luis!
I have done this for their sakes, not for mine. History and the will of the people will prove that. If you have the strength to weather this storm and come to me, I will deem you a worthy opponent. It will be a mercy to you, at the very least.
If we push forward, we'll be in grave danger. This storm itself is a maelstrom of pure magla.
Maybe this is just what it looks like. When the people's minds are slaves to their anxiety and fear.
That doesn't mean the solution is to deform them into monsters. The man's an arrogant lunatic.
We must give chase somehow.
Oh, aspirants to the throne.
This voice. Your Majesty?
The royal scepter has been taken. Luis now wields the royal magic to his own dark ends.
Luis was one step ahead of us. We did not expect him to seize and use the scepter before the final deadline.
His magic will be set in motion on the very day that the new king is to be decided. Such is the decree.
So it's just as Luis said. He won't let this campaign end any way but his. The bastard always loved making a spectacle of this.
Your Majesty, you were killed by Luis yourself. Doesn't it matter to you that he may succeed as king?
I had sought death long before he granted it.
You wished for your own death? But why?
The ideals I once believed in. I no longer had the power within me to fulfill them. Thus, I ensured my very life would serve as key to activate the royal magic. Should revolutionary fervor seek to destroy my regime, should Luis or any other malcontent take my life, therein would lie the catalyst. Thus would I appear, on a day so appointed, with form and voice, given life by royal magic.
I see. No wonder the magic survived even the prince's reawakening. It was never a matter of retaliation against the church or anything of the sort. You truly wished to pass the crown to whoever the people elected of their own will.
Oh, Prince. My son. If thou wouldst inherit the kingdom, thou must stop Luis. That is a trial befitting one who would take the throne.
His Majesty's Magla has faded.
I guess that's it. It really is up to us to save this land's future.
Luis is just ahead. We have to find a way to get beyond this storm, reckless or not.
Let's fall back to the royal capital for now, so we can come up with a strategy.
Hey! He's running that way! Kill anyone who stands against Count Luis! We fight for justice! Make them understand!
'Tis a battlefield out here. They know nothing of their savior's true intent, yet the streets are teeming with self-declared military police.
What's a man supposed to do when they're running around screaming about justice with bloodshot eyes?
So it's a crime to even disagree now. He said this was just their nature. I suppose I can see where his disappointment springs from.
But your allies are working hard too. It's not all as bad as it looks.
We are grateful. We will believe in their support as they believe in us.
By the way, I talked with Nurus on how to get to Luis's location. And of course, he said there's only one thing for it. Armor up the Skyrunner and dive in.
That's your strategy?
Think, my girl. It's our best play. But with no time for modifications, I can't say how long she'll last in there. I say, we've got one shot to charge in.
A proper dramatic do-or-die fight.
The road you run is perilous.
If we have but one chance, I'd say the final day is when we'd have even the slightest odds of success.
Right. That place is churning with the Scepter's gathered Magla. But if the casting steadily drains it away, then much of the ambient Magla should be gone by the last day.
A proper dramatic do-or-die fight. At the very last minute.
We would walk a treacherous tightrope until the very end. But have we ever done things any other way?
We cannot yield now. Luis's ambitions must be stopped, even at the cost of our lives.
Let's give it a shot.
You worked out some more of the truth, yes? Can you tell me more about what happened at the Royal Palace?
Luis is Elden. Everything is as we were told at the Ancient Sanctum.
What? Bloody hell. That's a heavy hit right off the bat.
Luis knew the truth of the royal scepter. It's a divine relic that absorbs anxiety from the people. That's the fuel for its incredible power.
The masses have grown accustomed to a life where the king bears the brunt and responsibility for their anxieties. All this chaos comes from that dynamic's reversal.
Might need you to slow down a bit. So that's his aim? Luis wants to make this a land of humans.
A drastic remedy to awaken the people spoiled by the royal scepter's power. and their horrific transformation is but the end to his chosen means. Yet I sensed some other reason to go to such atrocious lengths. He pursues some other purpose.
Well, if he's Elden, then Luis must have been there when the Sanctus Church made an inferno of his home. So, you suppose it's for revenge?
Can't say. He also ordered Zorba to directly attack the ancient sanctum after all.
Something he said stuck with me. About how he used to have dreams. Dreams long dead. I think he doesn't trust dreams. As in, he refuses to believe in anything that actually takes a risk. Like connecting with people or personal change. Maybe to Luis, dreams are just lies.
Perhaps he wants to push history forward with his own hands, like those of the world past.
It's ludicrous. I'll not let him get away with his self-obsessed madness. If we're to be ruled, it shouldn't be by someone who's given up on the world.
Indeed. Besides, the rightful heir stands with us. Should we succeed, you stand to inherit the throne soon. Are you prepared, Your Highness?
Yes, of course.
You really are committed, huh? In any case, we'll confront Luis on the last day. Until then, let's tie up our loose ends so we can fight with no regrets.
You've done a fine job so far. Time to follow through on those campaign promises, eh? Win this one for us.
Look at what Luis has made there. Unbelievable. We're getting in there, and we're going to tear it down.
What's that about?
I think this is finally it. By the next sunrise, whoever has the most support will be the victor, chosen by the royal magic.
We've gathered enough support to be a match for the Blackguard, but we could be undone by the slightest change in the winds.
I mean, the royal scepter's in Luis's hands now. Whoever the royal magic picks, we'll still have to go stop him.
It is a feat only we can accomplish.
We'll get it done. And Del, you better be watching.
No matter what happens, I will protect you. 'Tis my oath.
You'll come back, right? It feels just like it did on the day Papa left. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't cry. Oh.
Don't worry. Everything will turn out fine. Right, Your Highness?
I'll come back as king.
Right. Then I won't cry. I'll wait for you.
Luis seemed earnest in his wishes, at least. We'd be mistaken to cast him as a villain of pure black and white. But whatever his motives, it doesn't change the fact that his methods amount to massacre. Even if there's more to Luis's arguments than it seemed, you're all my friends. We've come this far together, and I'll always believe in you over him.
Yes, I agree.
'Tis a sentiment you know we all share. Let us vanquish Luis and rebuild our country.
I am glad we travel as friends. I thought that the reason we are less susceptible to the Magla's maddening power was thanks to our mastery of the archetypes. But perhaps it's something else. We just need someone with whom our hearts connect. Someone who is willing to face the same anxiety alongside us and move forward.
Indeed. I too was a slave to my despair, but you all helped me find my way back. I know I'd be lost without you.
Weren't we all at some point? Oh, this is getting a bit syrupy, even for me. Let's just make sure we survive. So the people of a new kingdom can hear our tales.
Then we better have a proper bash once we're back safe and sound. You let the good lady Fabia know we're reserving the place. Hey, Maria,
Okay. I'll ask her to cook something delicious too.
Now that'd be a treat. She cooked this fantastic red grass bedo the first time I was here, and it's been on my mind since.
By request, I've pushed the Skyrunner to her absolute limits too. On my honor as a right, I swear the old girl will get us there in one piece. Bit of a one-way trip, though. Can't promise a return flight.
Well, we're used to improvising escape routes. Tomorrow we settle this, once and for all.
We've come too far to waver now. Nowhere left to go but forward.
It's time.
Let's head there.
All right.
Wait. Understood.
So we bring the fight to them.
It's a vortex of tremendous magic. The magla in the air is so dense I can almost grasp it in hand.
Eurus! That was not an encouraging sound.
Lost. So much for the armored hull.
Come up, man! You have to find a way through this!
Well, consequences can come later. I'm taking off her limiters. Hold on. Come on, old girl. We're partners. Keep it together.
It is not so much a place as it is raw magla, furious and unchecked. The shores of the hereafter spill forth from the royal scepter, now in the hands of Luis. If it is the sun that proclaims the day, and the moon that ushers the night, then the celestial lord of these red skies, ill with anxiety, is the tyrant star. We await tidings, be they favorable or ruinous. The future of the kingdom will at last be decided.
Close shave. Rather too close. But we made it. But that rattling doesn't sound too clever. I think this is as far as the old girl goes.
It's broken? But what about our way back?
Calm down, old thing. I'll try some repairs. It's just I've never seen her in such a bad way.
'Tis as we expected then. We have no escape route.
Well, if things get rough out there, you can give me a shout. Still got the bunks if you need some rest to pull yourself together.
Right. Let's move.
I confess, I did not believe you would actually survive the Gauntlet.
Oh, please. Think about what you're trying to achieve. Nothing could stop us from getting to you.
I can accept that you hate injustice. Maybe we do share that. But I have to ask, Luis, why go to this extreme? Is it because you're elder? You saw your village destroyed for petty, evil reasons. Is this revenge?
Revenge? Ludicrous. That would accomplish nothing. An entire tribe does not become so derided to the point of genocide by authority figures alone, but by the vice of the society in which that ignorance is born. Indeed. It would be equally petty of me to take only the heads of the few familiar guilty. For my own satisfaction, no less. No. I would not repay injustice with injustice.
Then why? You drew the entire nation into your scheme without hesitation. If not revenge, then what would compel you to such ends?
It is true that I was born in the ancient sanctum, but I never held any fondness for that place. The Elder have long lived in hiding, clutching the truths of the world to themselves alone. A tribe of doors locked and secrets encoded. I wanted to change that isolation. And then, at long last, a man from outside the village came to visit. None other than your father, Prince.
That's...
The royalty, he dreamed that the tribes might stand side by side as equals. And he rejected none of our village's history, however inconvenient to his worldview. I saw him with the eyes of a child. And for the first time, I felt a dream stir. Were there more idealists like him in the world outside? Was my life of hiding at an end? Under the canopy of that gloom-thick forest, all I wanted was to leave and live upon the open plains beneath a wider sky. That was all. As for what happened to the ancient sanctum afterwards, it is a story you have already been told.
It was set aflame and crushed beneath the church's heel. The sanctist warrior monks and ordinary guardsmen alike, all in the palm of Forden's hand.
Neighbors and kin I'd known all my life were soon nothing but ash on the wind. Too quick to realize their own deaths. I was but a child, trembling before a wall of fire. It was a massacre. It had nothing to do with any hate on either side, or retaliation for any perceived offense. It was only pure injustice. A selfish act of devastation. One thought alone burned in my mind. I would never let it happen again. And so did I walk on.
It was tragic.
Thus, I choose to make this a land of eternal, perfect equality, even should it cost my life. I shall return the anxieties endowed upon this scepter, and let it be heard. To burden others with your own fears and responsibilities is cowardice. My royal magic shall craft a world where that cannot be. Such cowardice dies.
What a lonely way to see things.
That's what turned you so cold-blooded, eh? First I've heard of it, but... Sorry. Means we got all the more reason to kill ya.
Luis! You're not describing a nation that condemns evil. You're describing a nation that's entirely blind to it. A land of amoral beasts, not people. In the end, I think you're still trapped. You've been stuck in that night of flames all your life. You don't trust anyone. That's why you can only imagine a world apart from you. Unless you can face that anxiety within yourself, then you're no different from everyone you've rejected.
So be it. From the beginning, I have championed world order determined by power. All that remains is for me to realize my truth by burying you beneath it. You are not the sole wielders of these lost archetypes. I am Luis, bearer of the royal scepter. With only a thought, the power of kings is mine to command.
What?
Behold, and I will reveal the secrets still beyond you. Come, we decide our world's future here. Our land is consumed with anxiety as it has never been before. All of it, foundation for my new, better world. You are but an audience, powerless to tread on history's stage. Let it begin.
We fight for your ideal world.
Let's combine our powers.
Here and now. We'll take him down.
Let's do this!
Staying about bloody time.
Let my power support you.
Take this! Take this!
royal soul! You better be sure. I'm all prepared.
Coordination is key! I can't afford... Let's get on with it!
You can do this!
You will taste justice!
This is the power said to belong. I must concentrate. It is your turn! I'm sorry, everyone.
Right, let's make this fun. You're out of here.
Ah! I do not fear death. And yet... That'll do. I shall rise to the occasion. I think we've won this one.
So the power I have now is not enough. The Magla drawn to the royal scepter has faded more than I expected. Just as I thought. I would be a fool to underestimate you, but I made a decision that day. Even if history remembers me as a destructor king, I will put an end to the injustices of this world.
What? What are you?
I commend you. Clearly no half measures will do. If I'm to take your lives, I must stake my own, and all its power.
Damn! We can't get close! 'Tis tremendous, Aura!
I have a vision, and you will interfere with it no longer. Wait!
It's his gauntlet runner.
Luis still has the royal scepter. If we let him buy time, there's no telling what he'll do.
Bloody hell! We can't even go after him.
There's no time to go back down to land and reorganize. We'll do whatever it takes to get that scepter back before the dawn.
Ah, everyone! That bastard Luis took to his Skyrunner!
Yes, we know. Can you go after him?
It'd be suicide, lad. Though, suppose it's too late to back down now. Well, I was saving some reserve power for the trip home. But if we're using it here, we're using it here. Well, chums, batten down the hatches and brace for the storm. Hop to it now! Get in! I'll just fire up the...
Look over there! Enemies! Ugh, of all times! Wait, how many are there? Where did they all come from?
He's trying to slow us down. Ain't like Luis to put off a fight, but I suppose he's too cornered to be picky anymore.
Hold on! The old girl's still barely holding together. She can't take off that quickly.
What do we do?
Your Highness, you get in the runner first. We'll buy you some time for takeoff.
We can fight them together.
No. Even if we get the Skyrunner off the ground, it'll all be for naught if anything happens to you. No need to fuss anyway. We'll just kick them around for a bit while preparations are underway. Does that work for everyone else?
Fine. Suppose I'll keep you company.
Had you not suggested it, I would have done so myself.
What else are we gonna do? twiddle our thumbs inside while Norris does all the work.
Nearus, don't let us down now.
Right. I'll get it done, damn it. Hop in, Your Highness.
Well, let's do this.
We hold the line! We must endure this.
Hulkenberg!
Got it! We're powered!
Not good. They're going for the Sky Runner.
Not on my watch.
Let's wreck him!
Hey, what are you doing?
Sure you want to die next to me, old man? Thought you ate platypus.
Aye, it's true I don't understand you and I never will. But I know I don't hate you, boy.
Let's go!
Aye! We fly!
What? A noble must protect his people! Take this! Finally, I've earned my title.
She flies. Straight and steady.
Our kingdom is in your hands, my prince.
We gotta go back! Everyone, they're going to!
We can't go back now.
We have to!
Take cover in the back. You made my dreams come true. You and the rest of them. If we live, we'll meet again.
What are you?
Let's fly!
You've lost everything, and yet still here you stand. I must say your audacity is almost admirable. However, you rejected me, and I will not relinquish the royal scepter. Since we cannot come to terms, we can only decide this through battle. I have but one final question. Prince, do you wish to stop me? Or do you wish to be king? What is it you truly want?
I want to stop you.
I see. Then I too will fight you with all that I am. For the sake of this country. But it hardly matters now. My ascension is complete. With my own hands, I will tear apart these lie-laced dreams and bury the past. Here ends the royal bloodline and the legacy of the archetypes. We stand on the threshold of a new dawn, a new age.
I can't listen to any more of this. What new age? What do you know about him? All you do is destroy. You refuse to believe in dreams. That's why you can't believe in anything that's gradual, complicated, and slow to change. All that means is that you give up on everything. You'll never beat us. You're nothing but a coward, trying to escape this reality for one you made up.
The time for words has passed. So be it.
Such intense magla!
The quintessential force of the archetype. Is this all?
Such strength! How? It's happening so quickly!
Behold! This is the Royal Scepter's potential. Resist no longer. As I said, I would rather not force needless death upon you. Embrace it once more. Take your true form and become worthy of my new world. You are unfazed by the melancholy. Yet you thirst. Drink deep of the magma.
Not again!
What?
Stop! No! No! This can't be! Wake up! I said wake up! Hey, please!
My obstacles are clear. The boy
Open your eyes!
is no more.
Wake up! Please! You have to wake up.
Where?
Are you awake now? I summoned you just in time. Do you remember what happened? What you've done?
I ripped out my...
I'm frankly amazed you would go to such lengths, even to fight back against the spell. If I hadn't saved you, you really would be dead. But rest assured, we're finally safe. As for where we are far, far away from that hellish world. Do you remember the first time we met? I was sure you would find a clue in your journey that might reveal where in the world this place is. So I believed anyway, but I was wrong. From the start. This place is... It was never of that world to begin with. No. Maybe there's a better way to put it. This is a place that exists between reality and fantasy. In other words, the world we've been living in is fantasy. The journey was all an illusion.
An illusion?
There's nothing but despair in that world. And it will never get better. It's an endless, painful, irredeemable hell. I'd always believed that creating a utopia was possible. And if there was desire, then I thought maybe one day someone would achieve it. But I came to realize I was mistaken. In the end, a fantasy is just that. A fantasy. But all that primordial chaos only exists in that world. The world of reality is nothing like that. Really, it's an environment you should know quite well. You've come to know so much of it already. Through text on a page. Now, behold!
Isn't this?
Indeed. It's the world I wrote accounts of in my novel. Until now, you've thought this world a mere fantasy. But it's not.
So the world I know is all an illusion. And the world of the novel is... reality?
Surely you already know. There is no deadly magic, no prejudice between its people. Now, all you have to do is admit that everything you've been through has been nothing but a story, just a fantasy. Then this can be your perfect reality. Your journey of revolution was just a passing dream. Let me take you back to reality, child.
What will happen to my friends?
You don't have to worry. As long as you can accept that this place is real, everyone will be safe. That world is past any point of redemption. Change is impossible. The royal magic was supposed to be the turning point, but it was all for nothing. In the end, people don't want their world to change. They just want someone to be a sponge for their infinite anxieties. That's all. You can't blame Luis for wanting to end that cycle. How could anyone accept that they lived in a world that miserable?
Even so, I don't want to give up on it.
Come on, snap out of it!
What?
My, such disbelief on your face. But once you stop to consider it, the ideas fall apart. Come now. Magic? Some otherworldly force capable of anything with anxiety as its fuel? A fanciful idea to sustain a fantasy world. Illusion. All of it. Those curiosities in academia, they were there because of the place's connection to true reality. And not even they could endure. You still don't believe me. Why is that?
I still have unfinished business.
But why? What unfinished business remains in an unwinnable battle? If I hadn't saved you, you would have died there. You don't have to chase your fears and anxieties based on some misguided concept of justice. It was all illusory, and there is no shame in accepting that. Reality is a monolith. Reality is unchangeable. So stay here in Utopia, in the place you loved reading about so much.
This place, it isn't a utopia.
You mean, you deny it? Will you deny that the world of the novel is utopia?
I can at least cast my usual spell for you. It's the small comforts, right? Music was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier, right?
The journey, my friends, they were as real as anything I've known.
Why won't you understand? Please, I don't want you to die. I can't lose anything else. Truly, I see. I understand now. I remember. I had indeed lost everything. Despite my lofty ideals, I lost everything. Academia, the woman I loved, even my only child. Reality isn't just cruel. It's cruel beyond any hope of change. That's why I had wished for someone to strike me down and end my misery.
Who are you?
Me. If I were to call myself by a name you know, my name is Hethlodius V. I once reigned as king. Or, I am half of one, to be accurate. I was born of the very magic that split the prince in twain, and gave rise to you, and this place. No, it is not real. We are inside the book you hold. It served as your key to visiting me. This was the form of my youth, when first I entered the ancient sanctum. Perhaps it would be best to call me a discarded shadow of idealism. I once took such joy and passion from my ideals. I truly believed that I might end the strife and discrimination that plagued our people across nigh endless years. But the tremendous incomprehension and injustice that defines our world was more than I could bear. It broke me. And Luis is likely going through the same thing. I want to save you from that despair. I understand now that I would do this as your father. I could not bear to lose my child a second time. If you stay here, at least you'll be saved. Do you truly still want to leave this place and risk your life to face a reality you can't change?
Yes.
You are on the cusp of dying in Luis's hands. Is that not proof enough that we lack the power to change reality? I can't let you throw your life away against that man. I must stop you. Even if you come to hate me for it. Fantasy is a curse, sweet in seeming. And if I must save you from it, I will teach you what reality is. I suppose how I promised to travel the world someday is destined to be only another unfulfilled dream. Archetypes embody the power of heroes who sought to change the world. And even having mastered such power against Luis, You could accomplish nothing. I wrote all my ideas into my novel, but my love's death showed me how empty it all was. You cannot sacrifice your one life for an empty dream.
I have to try at least.
Why can't you see that those ideals will only invite ruin? If no one else, you must live. That world is beyond your help. Beyond any utopia. You must face reality, my son.
Light! Still up?
So you would vainly struggle onward in the real world. The novel I wrote for you seems to have kindled only ideals of naivete in you. Then even my folly has come to haunt you. My mistakes poison your life. As your father, you leave me no choice. I will put an end to this madness. This is for your sake. I will show you the truth. It was in this story, in this book, where you found your ideals. Haven't you always dreamt of utopia? Why do you resist it now? Why refuse me?
Flare! Still here?
Why? You were my first reader. You of all people have to understand. I have no choice.
Light!
Oh! So this is what it means to truly strive toward an ideal. What irony. After I spoke of fulfilling my dream alongside you. What power to see the archetypes brought to such heights in so little time. If you go back now, your ambitions will avail you nothing. You'll only die a dog's death. What is it that drives you so?
You gave up on your hopes, but I will not.
What? You think I chose to give up? Are you this determined to cling to your beliefs? Is that truly what separates us and keeps me confined here? Such power. Can it be? No matter how dire your fate, you never gave up. You surmounted every barrier, gathered and united soul after soul, and now, at last, across 3 nations, 8 tribes, and humankind, to unite heroes across such abyssal divides would require surpassing power. The king of all archetypes. Is that the role you would seize? A true king in body and soul.
Do you hear me? Your Highness!
Oi! Wake up, Your Highness!
How? Their voices reach you? Even here? It would seem your future is not yours alone to decide.
My friends are waiting for me.
The support and ardor of your allies. Yes. The very power that reveals paths beyond your own perspective. I see. That is whence you draw your power. Neglect anxiety, and magic will lead to ruin. Even before the War of Destruction, the downfall was foretold. Yet still, they met their prophesied end. Perhaps archetypes are the will of humankind of old, left to us. A plea that we learn from their failures, that we might rebuild the future writ from them.
I have to try. I want to know how far I can go.
Fascinating. Even as you face down the gravest oppression of reality, still you persist. Still you seek the world's unknowns as precious possibility. I see. Well, if you can believe there is more to the story than the end I see, then it is yours to tell. Once you return to reality, this place will surely fade as the dream it is. I, myself, will not be spared. Unlike you, my other half is long gone. And any reunion, lost. But if I truly am the idealized soul and hope of your father, then before I fade, I entrust you with the power of my life. Not as the author Moore, but as your father, the king. Now then. Listen here. That however. Yes. Well, now that you say it, welcome. All right. However, the kingdom rests in your hands now. If there is yet any value to believing in something beyond us, prove to me that fantasy has the power to color reality. Now, onward, O King of a new dawn!
Everyone! He's awake!
Is he all right?
Thank the stars.
Huh. Considering it was we who engaged Amata's gambit, this must be rather humorous to him.
We pulled through, thanks to Neurus. Can't believe he caught us mid-plummet on that busted Skyrunner.
Well, don't leave out Heismay. Wouldn't have expected his wings to be so handy.
Never again.
We're in good shape. Our wounds have already healed. It was all so fast. I'm still a little shocked.
True. It's bound to be everyone hoping the best for us below. Like what Luis did. Only the magic working in reverse.
What?
Why? Why do you still stand in defiance? What drives such tenacity?
Luis! The world is full of injustice. Not everything you've said is wrong, much as it hurts to admit.
Yet, you would give up because you see no other way. And no future can come from that. We may struggle with fear and anxiety, but we shape our own destiny with our own hands. I have no doubts.
Yes, you're a man who has endured tragedy. It's foolish, I know, all this talk of belief. I know well. That said, if you cast aside all belief, all that remains is to endure a slow death.
As for me, I believe things can change. I have to. Singing and believing aren't so far apart, right? Even then, my songs touched you too. I know they did.
After I'd idealized my death more than I ever did my life, thanks to a chance encounter, everything changed for me. Now I can hope for the best, without fearing for the worst. The possibilities are endless. If you ask me, that's what magic is.
Luis, you got all these people who believe in you, because you gave them a shred of hope. And now, you want to crush that hope. Maybe you're the one who's scared. Deep down, you're afraid to admit to yourself, you're the one who's hopeless now.
Luis, the fairies came to live in the Sanctum. But do you know why we chose it? The Elder Tribe. We admired the people of humanity. To make our dreams into realities, we have to trust each other. When people do that, that's what makes them so amazing. If you deny the power of trust, if you make the world a place where it can't exist, then you're just plain wrong!
Fools. These false foundations. Who in their right mind could promise such fantasies? I will never let injustice be repeated. Never again!
His aura is entirely different. It's a Magla burst. Luis is becoming a human.
Come on then! No choice now. We prove ourselves with all that we are!
Let's go then! This is our final battle!
Again, the world must be shattered, and again it must be rebuilt anew. You will die in tribute to my ideals, Prince.
We will win this! For the sake of our world!
I pray you're ready! Let all be dispelled!
Our new world.
I love this path!
Have no need for you.
Let my power support you.
Nice, Basilio.
Bastard!
That's what they get when they mess with
Lend me your strength.
And its people shall perish.
Maybe the... Scour!
I can't can't afford to. Let's do this! Something. Warrior! I'll cut you down!
This is the palace, and if we all work together... I shall put all on the line!
Give in to anxiety.
So annoying.
The inequities of the world can only be cleansed if the strong subsume the weak. Now, be a noble sacrifice. Sacrifice yourself to the new age.
What? Is he trying to swallow those people? Wait, they're... puppets? I'm sensing deadly Magla in the puppets.
You better be ready.
Attack him before he swallows more!
You're out of here.
Yes! The puppet's Magla's mating!
Let's stay calm. Let's set it up! No, let's go! Wind!
Our new world and its ideals.
Let's get on with it!
We'll combine our strengths!
Right on target! Nice
I shall
one,
do my
Scroll.
best. I ask for your aid.
Let's do this!
There is no power.
Follow my lead!
Fantasy.
Let my power support you!
You struggle in vain. Give in to the truth. Your fantasy has no meaning whatsoever.
My strength.
Trivial.
Sacrifice yourself to the new age.
You've got a bunch of ailments
Let's
slowing
work
you
together.
down, Captain!
Maybe come forth, Royal Soul! Lend me your strength!
Take my power!
I shall fight as the... Let's make an end of it!
Let's do this!
Try hard!
The puppet's Magla's mating!
I feel so heavy.
Basilio, nice dodge! You've got a bunch of ailments slowing you down,
Combine our
Captain!
powers.
You can do this!
The enemy still stands.
I love this path.
Let's do this!
My strength is fading.
Sacrifice yourself to the new age.
You've got a bunch of ailments
Let's
slowing
work
you
together.
down, Captain!
No, this won't.
I won't hold back! The magic seeds! It's still up?
The world.
Let's do this!
And its people. Show.
It's up to you now.
Tougher than I thought.
Strong!
Even my
They got
strength
you with
will be
multiple
needed.
ailments! For victory! Here I go! Help me finish this! Mackless fading!
My strength.
Sacrifice yourself to the new age.
Yeah! I'll protect all of us!
Follow my lead. Let my power support you.
Yes! The puppet's Mackless fading!
My world! My perfect world! Not yet. I refuse. I won't let it end like this. You will be a sacrifice. You will sustain the strong. Oh, weak one! Oh, peon!
His Magla has gone out of control. At this rate, even a man of Luis's mental strength would lose his grip on sanity.
In the end, even he couldn't escape his own anxiety.
Then by his own logic, we've got to put him down. The weak deserve to die. The bastard's own words, yeah?
If he saw a threat in our power, then let us wield it.
You can't just believe in nothing. Nobody can rely on themselves alone. It's a pitiful way to live, and it's time we put an end to it.
Luis Guiaban! Here and now, I will strike you down!
Okay, it's time to do this! Give us our final call to arms!
Come on, everyone. Let's go!
This is our last chance. We've come this far. For victory! We have to end this here and now!
You can do this!
I'm ready when I love this part.
All right, let's go!
Nice, Basilio! That's what they get when they mess with you!
I'll cut through!
After me! No. Hack and slash!
Feel true terror. Give in to anxiety.
Stroll's anxious, and they're targeting him! Nexus Magla's all gathering together! Aura's overpowering! It's making it harder to fight!
Let's do this!
Just hold on! Beelzebub!
About bloody time. You're out of here.
Basilio left him wide open! Let's hit that new weakness!
Why? Why can you not understand my ideals?
Oh, annoying.
My strength. My strength.
Yuba, we gotta do something
this
about all
together.
those ailments! Watch yourself!
blade!
We'll combine our strength!
Basilio, they're wearing down your defenses!
Doesn't take my fullest power.
I channel my power! You've got a
Stay in
bunch of ailments
sight.
slowing
Follow
you
my
down,
lead.
Captain!
You can do this!
Right in their weak spot. Beat him down, Basilio!
Let's work together! No, I won't hold back! You better become forth, Royal Soul!
No good! Don't get sloppy, Captain!
I can't afford. After me! I shall vanquish evil! I'll cut you down! Tougher than I thought!
A world born of fantasy. It must not be. Feel true terror. Feel true terror.
Aura's overpowering! It's making it harder to fight! Just hold on!
Healing power!
Thanks!
Thanks. I owe you.
Right, let's make this Artemis.
Let's do this!
I thought they're still breathing.
The Mustari, a foolish people, powerless by their own self-perception. Be gone from this world.
What's happening?
Damn it.
I saw the sidestepped it! She's doing great! Basilio's been hit with some
Let's
kind
set
of
it up.
status ailment! No, a bunch of them! I leave it to you!
Still up?
Now, let's do this!
It's up to you now.
My world! But why? Why is it still beyond me?
Dawn breaks.
Look! He's done it! He's finally beaten Luis!
Does this mean he's won? I'm not dreaming this.
She did it!
Not yet. I have my ideals.
Everyone's fighting their fear and anxiety. Nobody knows for sure what's right. And even through all that, the people have declared you king!
We fight for more than justice. Show him our will against his. Show him the fall of his world!
Hold fast to your ideals! 'Tis your sworn duty as king!
You wielded the power of kings! It's time to stop following in their footsteps! Now it's your turn to take your place with them!
Your fantasy is naught but lies!
What? What's going on?
Fantasy is more than an empty dream. It's a dream with the power to change the world!
Damn you!
That must be the Lord that governs Utopia in all worthy champions. The hero's archetype. The king. I see. At long last, fantasy has become a force that frees people from anxiety. A harbinger of change for a deadlocked reality.
The people have chosen my son. With that, my tremendous gamble hath borne fruit. Thus it is that my duty here draws to a close.
And now, the novel you wrote with such passion will finally begin a new chapter.
This voice... could it be? But how?
While flames swept through the sanctum, I cast a final spell to abandon my body and survive in soul. I became an immaterial being among the fairies. I had to, so I might provide guidance to the child on his most perilous path.
The power of the archetypes. Was that your doing?
No. All I did was awaken them to it. My voice carried the words they needed to hear. That power is no great and rare treasure. It is something that might be grasped by anyone with the will to change the world. And anyone has the power to change the world. Those children proved as much. Now, that boy has grasped the courage of a warrior. All dragons who still roamed the continent have fallen by his hand.
For what greater embodiment of the impossible is there than a dragon? And he now possesses the power and will to quell those forces.
I see. Then he is not so weak a child that I must hold his hand. I am truly sorry. I lost all the power I once knew. I saw the sanctum burn. And you. I lost you. Once they took our child from me, all my remaining hope went with him. And so I placed my faith in the royal magic. I believe that if this world would choose him, there would still be hope.
This shall do. That boy's fight, and ours, is finally over. The people no longer need some mystic relic or some lofty magics to soothe their fears. They have found the strength to overcome it within, provided they can turn their anxiety into strength and never stop walking toward the unknown. Reality will ever change. Their world shall be one full of possibility.
This isn't about the throne anymore. It marks the beginning of a new era, led by those who are truly worthy of the people's trust. Almost the appointed time now. The day is dawning on a new king's reign. And with it, my true passing. However, if I may truly end my life with pride in my boy, and my love at my side, I've no regrets.
It's been a long road to this moment, hasn't it?
It has indeed. But for our son, a new journey now begins.
Heed me, all people of the kingdom. Dawn breaks, and the appointed hour hath come.
He speaks. With the announcement of our new king, everything finally ends.
I now settle the long-contested succession to the throne. They who hath gathered the most faith from their subjects amassed, they who hath overcome this fierce contest, the throne's new sovereign, I now reveal. Behold, your new king of your kingdom united.
Look! It's him! Yeah!
Yay! Look! Look, that's him, isn't it? He won!
He certainly did, love. He really did. Oh, I still can't believe it. That boy pulled it off. His Majesty, the new king.
I won't accept it! The new king is Count Luis.
We can't just crown his son after all. That's cheating, that is. Rise up, people! Riot!
Disorderly conduct will not be permitted.
Settle down. The tournament is over. Our new king has been decided, and the royal capital falls under His Majesty's rule. Threaten it, and you shall face the wrath of the Crown Theocracy's warrior monks.
Bloody fantastic. They really did it.
Quietude descended once again upon the royal capital, and the day of the new king's coronation arrived.
coronation really crept up on us. There's a lot of people in the crowd.
Don't tell me you're nervous. After everything we survived already, stage fright should be nothing for you.
Of course, I'm fine.
If you say so. Just do relax your shoulders once you're out there, eh?
We've all made due arrangements. You can trust in us. Your newfound dignity suits you well, Your Highness. Ah, but I suppose you have outgrown that title. Your Majesty. Yes, that too suits you well.
By the way, saw some of them Senate fat cats hovering about, acting like they've been supporting us from the start, of course. Always on the winning side, eh?
Better than the alternative, no? Especially since we've got some Luis diehards among the people.
I hear that many are concerned about his proficiency with statecraft. To be honest, I'm not so sure myself.
Juna will stand as moderator at the podium. His Majesty will only be asked for a few brief answers. First, the people would know how you aim to lead them. How will you respond to that, Your Majesty?
We have the power to change the world. All of us. I know I'm inexperienced, but I'll strive to do my utmost. With all of you at my side.
That's fine. The people have about had it with pompous monologues. Better to say what you mean with determination.
Still, there are a lot of people in the crowd who have never supported you. How are you going to respond to them?
I'll have to let my work prove my words. With results, I hope everyone can feel that our future will be brighter.
You went from a nobody to the top seat in the nation. No need to puff up and bluster anymore, what? You'll do fine.
A ruler must only stand tall. The rest is not done alone. We are with you.
Indeed. And we're no strangers to more practical work. Whatever our tasks, I'm sure we can handle them.
Well, it's time to make your first appearance as our king. Let us brace ourselves.
Good luck.
I'll do my best.
Well, let's go. To His Majesty, the new king!
All right, a warm welcome, please! His Majesty, the new king! Your Majesty, you're so young!
Please. My king, your subjects would hear how you intend to lead them.
Relax, okay? Take it easy and use your own words.
As a ruler, I've much to learn. I cannot say what I'll accomplish. And yet, I believe the world can change by our hand. And to that end, I will face any odds.
Now, Your Majesty, a few more words. Naturally, some under your rule now supported other people in the race. How do you respond to their voices?
There will be times I let you down. I know that. Only results can prove my intent. But still, even should you oppose your king, you can always believe in your own future. I will make sure of it!
A nation where dreams and fantasies are always in reach. Will surely be a challenge.
We'll make it happen.
There you go. If you can pull that off, you'll be the finest king we've known. Well then, this is it. Your attention, please.
No lord remains for you to kneel before. Please take the crown with your own hands, my king.
Ah, long have I awaited the arrival of this day. This journey has reached its end. He came to know the goodness of a hero's heart, and became the king his people had always hoped for. But as this journey ends, so another begins. I'd like you to watch over him on his path for a little longer yet. 1 year has passed since the arrival of the new king.
Hey, heard the news? They're finally reopening that mage academy that got closed down.
You don't say. The famous one deep in the Montario Mountains. Really? I'm impressed. It only took them a year.
They've even paved a proper mountain road. And get this, their headmistress is none other than Lady Juna.
What? The songstress?
Well, she is one of the king's 6 partisans. If she managed to help save the world from Luis, I expect she knows a thing or two about magic. Sounds like they plan to fully open the magic researcher's findings to the people, too. Quite a turn from when the late Sanctifex banned it.
Makes sense to me. After the clash between His Majesty and Luis last year, everyone knows you don't really need an igniter to use magic.
And that's just today's news. It's surprise after surprise, ever since us churchfolk got the boot from the palace. Even the Royal Knights. Their leadership was bound to the church more than anything, and now he's out on his ear too. And replaced by Sir Jaime Noctul, no less. You believe that? The Royal Knights, led by a Ujif of all things. Though he's one of the 6 partisans himself. When he speaks, everyone listens. No one's about to complain.
Even Parliament now invites citizen representatives to hearings. Strange to think we'd been deaf to the voice of the people until now. It's unbelievable, compared to the days of the autocrats. How swiftly the times change, eh?
Credit where it's due. I think it's thanks to His young majesty. Remember last year's coronation? Unprecedented, that. Saw heroes of all different tribes celebrating the king's victory. Celebrating among the common folk, even. They tell me some of the younger aristocrats have taken to calling it the Great Reconciliation. It really is a tragedy, what happened to his father, the king. But considering how his sons turned out, I hope he's at peace.
Indeed. Yet the real test is still to come. The first year has seen a lot of good, but we've still got our share of problems.
Speaking of His Majesty, I've also heard some folks saying they've seen a boy wandering around these parts who looks just like him. You don't suppose?
Ah, can't be. Without his escorts? Besides, what business would a king have in this place?
Suppose you're right.
mountains upon mountains of appeals from the people. How many days will this take to sort?
After all the trouble you took to flee politics. And somehow you're now the preeminent ladyship of your house. Such is fate.
Despite everything, this year has passed in surprising peace, hasn't it? Honestly, with the royal scepter disappearing like that, I feared more dissent.
Perhaps after Luis, they swore they could never let that happen again. Either way, more and more are dealing with conflicts calmly and openly. Promising.
It promises that I'll have an eternally cluttered desk.
Here, Your Majesty. I've brought in the next load. And there we go. Not half bad, right? Hey! Isn't the king supposed to be here?
When did he? I've said countless times not to leave unannounced.
Oh, all this decoration doesn't suit me. How'd Luis and Forden put up with all this damn finery? Your Majesty? Are you here? Juna's back from her inspection.
Apologies, Troll. I'll look for him now.
Wait! I'm coming with you!
Oh, good grief. Some things never change. Not that they should.
I'd say life has changed plenty for us. Yet somehow our captain's same as he ever was.
And then, well, I might have got a bit too fresh with them stuck-up Sanctists. But those bloody church folk been looking down on us for years, you know? Still, it was other Sanctists what stepped in to keep things peaceable too. I reckon they're not all bad. Guess me cogs turning. They lost both their Santifex and the Saint Lady last year. Got their own struggles, I expect. Not like it excuses all of them or makes me want to go up and shake a Sanctor's hand, but you really put some perspective on it.
I believe you'll come to understand them.
You know what, lad? You're all right. You ever need some good, honest work? I'll get you squared, eh?
I should have known you'd be wandering around without your escorts again. How is it, being able to hear the city's honest thoughts? If you told them you're the king, it'd knock them sideways. Sorry you ended up coming all this way. Maria's actually out on an errand right now.
And I suppose I'll wait until she comes back.
You sure? That girl always ends up on detours. No telling how long she'll be. Either way, best keep your head down. You know what happens when you're too obvious about this. Sooner or later, the Lady Captain of the Royal Guard...
Oh, there you are! I knew we'd find you here, for crying out loud!
Phew. So you were here.
Speak of the devil.
Let us return, Your Majesty. And I thought I had informed you that Juna would be back from her expedition today.
I have a few stops left in the city, though.
You do know I practically sprinted out the gates to find you. 'Tis settled. I shall come with you on every excursion.
Not dressed like that, you won't. You know how we like snooping around, inconspicuously.
Point taken.
He'll be fine. His Majesty is not about to fall prey to some alleyway scoundrel, surely. Right, Your Majesty. If you see Maria about, do slow down for a chat. She'll be shattered if she finds out she just missed you.
Fine. Now, Your Majesty, once your business here is finished, please make sure you return to the palace with all swiftness.
Oh, hello there. Oh, right. I suppose now I should call you Your Majesty. You know, I was just telling Papa, even through all that mess, everyone's really been working hard.
Am I keeping my promise properly from back then?
Yes, you beat the villain, and now the city's full of smiles. And I'm sure Papa's smiling down on you too.
That's good. Hearing that from you really lifts my heart.
Don't worry. I'll try to do my part with what I've got. I want to help everyone understand that the world could be a better place if we can join hands with one another. Miss Fabian's fed so many hungry people since things changed. Some of those people even said they found their place there. I think I did too. If we can all change together for the better like that, we'll be closer to Your Majesty's and Papa's dream. And I want to help with something too. I want everyone across the land to be able to smile.
Yeah, I'm counting on you. Let's do this together.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Majesty. Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
We should be the ones thanking her. Feels like I can see the entire country's future in her smile.
Everyone!
Long time no see. How have you been?
As we find ourselves afield, I thought I might visit Alsace myself.
Hold on a tick. Those people there? Surely not.
Naturally, we're drawing attention. We didn't all have to go at once.
Needn't fuss, old thing. It's been too long since we were all together again anyway.
Lady Tuna, did she really come all this way in a runner? Could have asked His Majesty to pop over and bring you back with a teleport or two.
The unmitigated nerve.
Oh, it's fine. I wanted to take in our country as it is. It's definitely a little rougher outside the capital's walls. There's still traces of melancholia around, and the odd human roaming about.
We're sending soldiers out for every incident we can. But it's not easy to hear the voice of the people from more distant regions.
I guess it's obvious. But just because you're king now doesn't make you suddenly all-seeing.
A lesson I learned last year. In the end, I was blind to a great deal of this world. Never would have learned if I hadn't pushed out the door and seen it with my own eyes.
A year ago, I would have just said we could fly over ourselves. I mean, let's be real. The capital isn't going to fall apart if we just sneak over for a little tour, is it?
Of course not. We specifically put precautions in place to keep things running.
Yet it has only been 1 year. We cannot be too complacent too soon, lest the dissidents seize on the opportunity.
Oh, there he is! Over there! See? I told you, that's His Majesty, innit?
Might have been a bit too obvious.
Oi there, Your Majesty!
You dare hoy the king? You swine!
Steady on, Hockenberg, calm. You needn't draw steel on the poor fellow. We're the ones who indulged in this little day trip.
Your Majesty, thanks for all you do, really. Have to say, my life's a lot easier now.
There's more work to do every day, but we're in this together. We believe in you.
Everyone's so supportive. Kind of brings back memories from last year.
Rather. It's the sort of thing to get a chap all misty-eyed over the past. What a journey it was.
We really did just leg it up and down the country slaying dragons, eh? Can't believe we actually survived it.
They were dangerous times, but exciting ones too.
When we fought to appease the dragon god, I had no idea we would have to face another 4 dragons.
Nor I. Never thought the day would come when I'd be hailed as a dragon slayer. Life is full of surprises.
Right.
It was a hard road, but we did have fun together, didn't we?
Looks like we're drawing a crowd. Time to get back to work.
Indeed. A veritable mountain of tasks awaits us, and I will see it crested.
And not long after, the new year dawned.
Journey? Are you really planning on leaving us?
There's more I have to see. With my own eyes.
You want to know what's going on in the world, huh? Well, I guess you are the king.
Sounds like fun, but a daily jaunt down to the slums is one thing, and a proper journey is quite another. You're a king now, lad. You've got the people's expectations on your shoulders. It's all right to just sit on your throne and mind the home front, you know?
I don't care to be kingly. That's less important than doing what I need to do.
You're not even concerned? Can't you take this a little more seriously?
Never the fearless gadabout, eh? Well, I take your point, lad. Magla and the humans make a fine barometer for the anxiety still swirling in the country. So you go out and give it a proper survey, where it is and how much is there. If people can't face their anxieties, they can't keep their eyes forward. And if they can't do that, we'll have a bally hard time moving forward as a nation or a people. So you want to get a better grasp of it all. That's your most important duty as a ruler. That's what you're thinking, eh?
Right.
If that was your plan, you could have just said so.
Sounds like a fine idea to me. A proper spot of fun, besides. Wouldn't expect any less from our king and captain. Well, since I'm the bally court engineer, I've no choice but to come along. I'm the only driver fit to maneuver the Royal Skyrunner after all. And why, you're the Dragon Slayer King. Bane of monsters all across the country. When I imagine what sort of wondrous encounters you've got next, well, I'm all agog. Yes, here begins our quest anew. Let us sally forth upon our... hello? Are you not listening to me?
Sire, you've really got to stop chasing these ideas all on your own. It'll be the death of us.
Once again, sire, I've asked you countless times to give word if you're to leave the castle. Such caprice.
Nurse, don't tell me you called for them beforehand.
Saved us a bit of time, eh? Though, hello, what's this? I count only 2 of the 6 partisans. Short a few spears.
For my part, I believe 'tis unrealistic for all of us to depart the capital together.
Oh, so you have no plans to stop our little adventure, eh?
Hulkenberg and I talked it over. We decided that if you insist on going, we'd rather go with you than stop you.
Are you sure about this?
I was thinking back to our last fight with Luis. So many people supported us, but not for any high-minded ideals or arguments.
They were supporting us because we were actively fighting a monster on their behalf. In the end, people make choices based on their personal experience and emotion. Even if decided justly and supported by prosperity, the people may struggle to trust a king whose face they do not know. An invisible ruler is no cure for their fears.
Right. I'm not opposed to the idea of getting out into the world again. Really, it might be the wisest move to make sure you're a king everyone knows.
Still, this early into the new year? 'Tis never a dull moment in your Majesty's employ.
Bit of a smaller party than we last set out with, huh? But it's a pleasure to be on the road again with you.
Okay, but can we really afford to have both our general and the Royal Guard's captain coming along for this?
'Tis natural course for the royal guard to accompany the king. And I trust my corps is not so feeble that it will fall apart in my absence.
We'll make it work. Got to learn to trust others and delegate, right? And we'll just have to lead by example.
Thank you. All of you. Let's be off.
You once heard my voice and answered a query in kind. Is fantasy a powerless creation? That timeless question. So long as life remains in the world, we seekers all shall search for our answer. But he will find his. Of that I am certain. And it is thanks to you for believing in and guiding him. That was the true purpose of my royal magic, you know. To seek and obtain guidance from denizens of a land beyond ours. A land that has not yet lost hope. And it was you who answered the call. Armed with your hope, armed with the power of fantasy, you rose in glory. Such courage, such whimsy, and yes, what thrills. You have my sincerest thanks.
Feels familiar. It's been far too long.
Aye, the wind feels an echo of days past.
Unusually poetic for you.
They're awful, aren't they? They would have left us behind. Oh.
Well, I'm not certain we're in a position to talk, having followed straight after, saying we could just teleport back.
Well, hey, we figured the kids might want to change your scenery, like.
Wow! Amazing!
Poetic indeed. That the scepter's absence restored order to Magla, and even greenery to the sands.
I'll say, I definitely like this view better.
Let's go.